Question 1. What is your attitude towards bad decisions? Do you dwell on them, let them destroy you, or turn them into something fruitful? Please elaborate.
Decisions. Bad
Well,
decisions.
you
Bad
can't avoid
decisions that we have made, that I have made, or you have made, or bad decisions that the subject has made, and not bad decisions by others.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's our own mistakes.
Yeah, our own mistakes.
What we decided turned out not to work so well. They're really not worth holding on to. You don't want to forget them because they're an opportunity to learn something. But the moment the decision has been made and the consequences follow, all that stuff is in the past. You can think about it all you want, but you can't make it better. So, but you can learn, if it revealed something about you.
Well, you say you can't make it better, then you may see ways of mitigating the harm. I mean, you should apologize to people if you realize you have hurt them in some way, and
right. But you can.
There may be things you could do that would help.
Sure.
But sometimes there's not. Sometimes it's what's done is done. What's said is said, and you can't take it back.
Yeah. Well, I have a number of bad decisions I've made in my life, and once in a while they pop up and force me to remember them. But I've gotten pretty good at not following the memory into the memory hole, black hole. But they still pop up, and I re-experience the guilt or shame or whatever associated with that act or that decision. But it's important to let it go by once it's in the category of you can't change it.
Well, as you say, you can learn from it and decide that, well, I'm not going to do that again, or I'm not going to make a mistake again.
And it can help your humility to realize that you weren't the perfect person you thought you were when you were making that bad decision.
So that's me and Larry. What about David and Luna?
David sounds like he's in a fringe area on a cell phone.
Yeah, he's driving, and he said he might lose us time to time.
He's in and out.
I just entered the airport parking area.
We can hear you.
Sorry for the interruption.
No, that's all right.
We were just hoping you might comment on question 1, but you don't have to.
My comment on question 1 is my father told me he had a business. He said the best thing to do when you fuck up, learn from your mistake and move on.
Yeah.
He says it's the best thing you could do.
Yeah, leave it in the past.
So
you can. You're still fringy.
Breaking up.
Yeah, your signal is marginal. Right now you're on the other side of the margin.
Yeah. So Luna, do you have any regrets?
My attitude towards bad decisions is, as Dave Chappelle once said in one of his old skits, just fuck it. Essentially, why? It's in the past. What good is dwelling on something going to do? Just get over it, deal with it, move on, be here now, and move forward. But you shouldn't dwell on good decisions or bad decisions.
True.
They are part of a chain of events that helps us, to be what we are now, but it's fruitless, really. There's never been a time in history that someone dwelled and it was fruitful. I mean, certainly, sometimes someone screws up, and then you learn your mistake, and you get back up, and you move on. But let's just say someone's walking along and they decide to turn left instead of right, and then on the left there's I don't know, a robot lawnmower that chews up the person's arm. Okay, it sucks that the robot lawnmower chopped up the person's arm, but what are you going to do? Spend the rest of your life sad that you turned left, or are you going to move on and make the best of the life you have? I think it's the latter.
Yeah. Well, and also good decisions.
Yeah.
But they can both serve to remind you. And in my opinion, the thing that I've gotten from remembering bad decisions, not forever, but is that they're a reminder that you're not always in control. Yeah, you're not always there when these decisions are made. They're sort of made by something that pops up out of your past. So, or some passion or whatever. But that you can never be enough in charge and knowledgeable enough to not have those things happen. And that's why I think it's important for humility, and also to realize that the people that make mistakes that annoy you are probably in the same situation. Mistakes are going to happen.
Well, we could do next one more question or two.
All right, next one. If a random person is being obnoxious, how do you both project loving kindness outward while also calming the soul without letting feelings of anger, annoyance, and so on poison one's mundane and spiritual life? Tips.
A random person.
And how do you do both of those things? Go to the calming first. Because that can interrupt any automatic knee-jerk responses.
When you say random person, you mean someone you don't know or you don't know very well? Is that...
Or that it doesn't matter who it is?
It doesn't matter. I mean, random as in it could be anyone.
Well, right. I mean, what if it's your spouse or something? Is that...
Yeah, it could be
that's
that
still
too.
A random person. I mean, there's the whole line of people, the whole spectrum, from people you've never met to your worst enemy to your spouse of 60 years.
Yeah,
so it's random. The point isn't the person, the point is how they're acting and how you respond to it.
How you react. So you could have said, if someone is being obnoxious, how do you meaning how do you both project loving kindness outward?
The best I've been able to do is say I agree with you and walk away.
Is what?
Is to more or less agree with them and then walk away before more words are exchanged.
Well, yeah, if it's going to turn into an argument or something, yeah.
Because I have a very Portuguese temperament. If they step on my toes one too many times, the next thing I know, the argument's over.
Next thing you know, what?
The argument's over, and there are sore heads on both sides.
Yeah. Well, the main thing is not to react, to become aware of yourself and not react automatically, and remember that we're all beings that do things like that, and generally the other person who's being obnoxious is doing so because he's in pain. The behavior is it pops up in order to try to solve the problem of the discomfort they feel inside, to do something about it. And of course, it may happen because they interpreted what you did as obnoxious first. But people do stuff and they don't always know why, and neither do I. But you have that in common. We all screw up. We all get angry sometimes. And if you can go to that calm place inside, then you can venture back out with the realization that still is your neighbor, the right thing to do may be to run away, but you know, but yeah, anyway, that person is not usually any more bad than you are. The person is feeling pain or discomfort and trying to resolve it.
I just, I think that my wife gets in a bad mood sometimes, and she may be angry with me, or she may be somebody left us, and may be angry with me, or one of our children, or one of her siblings, or something. But she often recuperates and will apologize. I mean, it's just there are episodes when
Sure.
people are obnoxious, and if you can just kind of be patient and not overreact, or I mean, you can't just utterly ignore them, but you shouldn't. I don't think you should acknowledge it. I see you're upset about this, but David is back, maybe.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Sorry, I faded out there for a while.
Ah, well, we all fade out from time to time. That's when we make our mistakes or bad decisions.
Well, I think if I were going to answer the question, it would be different times in my life. I deliberately attempt to cultivate this sense of detachment.
Yes,
part of a spiritual practice, but even in dealing with obnoxious people in a bad mood, or people are being obnoxious for some reason or other, if you can detach and say, don't treat it as a personal attack on you.
right.
It's intended that way, but
right.
The obnoxious implies that it's an unwarranted attack. It may be a warranted attack.
Well, yeah, but it's something you obviously don't like at the time. That's, one way to look at it is that person doesn't know why he's doing what he's doing. And so it's not personal. It feels personal, but it's not personal. That person is behaving that way for his own reasons. And if you can interrupt the automatic response by becoming quiet inside, you might remember that. Don't be so identified with it that you feel like something about you, yourself, is at stake. Because it isn't.
Or it is. I mean, there may be times when somebody's being obnoxious because you've done something to provoke them. And if you can realize that, you may just say, I'm sorry, I made you mad, whatever.
Yeah, sure. You can do that after you've broken that automatic connection to making it personal. Because at that point, you can decide what's the best way to handle the situation. But if you're too attached to your initial reaction, you'll hang on to it, and you'll have justification for it, and you'll never get to that quiet place.
It seems like as I get older, perhaps I just don't encounter I can't think of as many occasions as I used to encountering obnoxious people.
Right.
Behavior. It's maybe I've just become something about becoming mellow or whatever. It's like, well, they're upset, and
yeah. If you don't have a chip on your shoulder, the people aren't so awful. Whether their behavior changes or not.
If they don't get under your skin, if they can.
Yeah, exactly. Finally, we are, in a sense, responsible for our emotions, because we can't really blame them on somebody else and say, you made me feel that way. So, that's the important thing. When you feel that disequilibrium, then, have that be like an alarm clock going off. wake up. I found that, gradually I've learned to, especially with anger, is to feel like how bad it tastes. Is really how bad it feels. But when we think we're justified in having it, we don't view it so negatively. But when it occurs, it doesn't feel good. And it can leave a bitter taste in everybody's mouth. Taste the bitter first and don't do it.
I was thinking, going back to politics, you hear the expression, I hear it in the last few years, that we want to do something to own the libs.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've heard on the other side where liberals try to do things to own the whatever.
No, they don't. I'm sure there's that. Some of that is there are people motivated to do that, but it's not characteristic of the left.
Not as, but the whole point is to be obnoxious and toward those people because they're despicable.
Yeah.
And you want to
take something away from them.
Hurt them in some way.
Preferably.
You want to embarrass them or ridicule them or something. Yeah. They're just a bunch of DEI people and
DBI?
DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Yeah.
Somebody said Kamala Harris was just a DEI hire. She was hired because of her gender and racial background.
Yeah.
You can say the same thing about Trump.
Oops.
We're trying to hear you, David. Could you repeat that?
There's no bandwidth, very little anyway.
The people can say the same thing about Trump. He was chosen because he's white and male.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And the thing I would like somebody to say, in response to having somebody say it was a DEI decision, is so they're not qualified. That DEI means that the person isn't qualified. If any of those criteria were taken into consideration to put somebody in a particular position, that by its very nature, that makes somebody less deserving or less talented or whatever.
Yeah. And they weren't the best person for the job. They just got hired because they're black or whatever.
Yeah, but you can have both. If you have two candidates for a job and you're running a business and you go over the people that work for you and realize they're all white, and you have two people to choose between and they're both qualified, you might choose the black. Shouldn't have to, but
there's been a history of discrimination against that goes back for hundreds of years, and so doing something to try to compensate for that it seems like an admirable policy.
But the white right calls that reverse discrimination.
Reverse, yeah. You're discriminating against white people.
Yeah. Which couldn't be more ridiculous.
Yeah.
No, it's not ridiculous, because there are cases where white people are discriminated against.
Yes, but it's not a cultural norm.
I mean, it is a cultural norm in certain subcultures within this country, and then it's a cultural norm in other places. I mean, it's certainly justified to a certain extent in Africa, but you have things like the Nation of Islam here, where there's a rabid hatred of white people. That my view is that the white people shouldn't hate non-white people because of the color of their skin, and non-white people shouldn't hate white people because of the color of their skin. And also the whole idea of, the people who are racist and like, oh, I'm going to go into the bar and I'm going to judge them because they're black is atrocious. It's one of the worst things. But on the other hand, I think the reverse of that, which is the modern WWWs, woke white women who go around having self-hatred and saying, well, I'm going to go into a bar and I'm going to be incredibly patronizing to these black people and say, yeah, I'm going to have pity on you because, my ancestors did all these horrible things to you, is also a form of racism.
Oh, yes.
And
oh, yes. It's insulting.
it's insulting. I mean, there's a lot of major African American intellectuals now that say that they feel more belittled by that than by some of the racists. I mean, both are wrong, but the ideal is what Martin Luther King wanted, of a person walking into a bar and not judging someone by the color of their skin, but by their character.
Sure. Which you can't see immediately.
Right.
Usually. Anyway, it's like it's a difficult thing. There are inequities too that we should, want to undermine a little bit because they're not fair, and yet if you legislate it, then you are in fact trying to force people or coerce people into making that decision in their personal lives or their business lives, and that's going to produce resentment. So that doesn't always help. But at least you have to recognize, that thing, structural racism. It's a real thing. You don't have to have particular feelings about it other than to regret that it's there, but you don't have to go along with it.
I had a friend, there was a colleague where I worked with the federal government, and he and I got to be very close. He was a Jewish man. He passed away a year or two ago, but he wanted to be and became a PhD, got a PhD in history. Spent a year in Spain writing a dissertation about some Spanish political figure. And then he applied for entry-level teaching positions in I don't know how many colleges and universities, but he never got hired. And he said nearly every job he applied for was given to a woman. And he developed this. My wife got to know him pretty well and said he's a misogynist. He just hates women. He feels like he was mistreated because of this whatever bias toward hiring women.
Well, there was a time when, the women are still a little bit out of balance, but it's not what it used to be. And people wanted to do things to help that. And anytime there's only one thing and you have to give it to one person, there's somebody you don't give it to.
Yep. So he finally gave up the law school and became a lawyer, but he didn't really want to be. He just and he really wasn't a very good lawyer, but at any rate, he finally found his niche, his career niche later in life, becoming a recruiter for, raising funds for charities and recruiting people. And he got into, I guess you might call it, human relations type work. He was quite successful in the end, but he was really pretty bitter of the years I was close to him.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. He didn't have to be. Theoretically, he didn't have to be.
Yes.
But, you can be discriminated against, and you can be discriminated against. What? Wait a minute. Was that my voice coming back at me?
I don't know. I think
it was.
Was it David trying to talk and couldn't get through?
No, I didn't say anything.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Sounded to me like my own voice might have been coming back. And it is. I'm hearing the echo. Is anyone else hearing the echo?
No, not here.
I could hear the noise you're talking about. I'm just looking back at that question. It says, how do you we're still dealing with the obnoxious person and calming the soul in order to avoid poisoning one's mundane and spiritual life. I think we may have said all we had on that.
Well, yeah, and I don't think the echo is originating on my end because I turned off my microphone.
I'm going to try muting my phone. Let me know if that helps.
All right.
Yep, that was it.
Yeah. How was that sound looping around?
Okay, I'll be a silent participant, and I'll only unmute if I need.
You're muting the microphone, right? So you can still hear. All right. Well, that works. Push to talk. So the echo's gone.
And we're at time.